So I just got done shooting the updated cab bushing review video that's uploading at the moment, and I wanted to do a video on my light modifications that I just got done doing to this truck this past weekend on Saturday. It's Tuesday, for those that didn't watch my last video where I mentioned it was Tuesday. Anyway, so here I have done light modifications that truck never came with from the factory after 03, unfortunately. 03 might have it, but anything after that, not really. Under dash lights. One of the big things that everybody wishes that these trucks had, including Yukons, Escalades. I don't even know if they have them because they're more premium, but I know these, just generic everyday drivers, even LT3s don't have that. So this is tapped into a wire on the junction block. Down here there's an orange plug with a gray and black, I believe, or gray and white. There's two of them together. You just tap into one of those. So I added front lights, but I also added rear lights. This is something I noticed Escalades have, and I was like, I want that, because why not? For one, like for me, having a crew cab, I can haul people now finally instead of my crew cab or extended cab. And at night, people open the door, light will shine backwards, shines on the ground a bit. So if they have something in their lap, they slide out of the truck, they dropped it, can't see it, it's dark out. Well, the light's there to help. That's definitely nice. But pardon the mess. I got back from the store not too long ago, But stupid thing. I also added underseat lights. This is something none of those of this generation of those vehicles came with, and it is kind of rednecked in the way the lights are installed. So these are license plate lights. They came in a pack of 2 for some reason, front and rear, I guess. And there's this bar under the seat. Without having to screw into anything, I just zip tied it there, and it's nice and tight. You can't just walk. I mean, you can move it, but you can't just freaking, it doesn't wiggle around and all that crap. So that's nice, and it just makes a world of difference when it comes to trying to find something in the dark. They drop something in the back, I can flip on the lights, and bam, found it on the floor, thanks. Then my mic up here, I tied the constant 12-volt wire, which would feed the end lights, into the dome light. So if they come on with the dome light, and I can turn them off whenever I want. But man, it's a studio. It's a photo studio in here at night. It is just awesome. I absolutely love it. And then I have these lights for when I open my door, and then when the door is closed, I also have these lights, which came with the Boost Auto Park mirrors with the options that I got. This took me quite a while to finish, because it's not just plug in and go. I had to run wire for quite a ways, and I've got a little problem with this door sensor. It's freaking, I don't know, it's got a loose connection or something. It thinks the door is closing when I open it, and then it comes back on. So anyway, but I had the plugs and the wiring, so I ran it through the door, and when it gets to here, the factory body harness has plugs that plug into this. This is one big plug, and whereas like the front looms, there's just wires running through here, and wires come out here, where it's just a plug with pins and stuff. So I had to pin the light wires in here and pin them over here, and then tie them I tied them into the floor light up there, which is tied in on that junction block. I did that on both sides, and I'm telling you, I probably did upwards of 12-14 solders between that side up to the front, and then over here required more. I don't remember why. Oh, it was because I had to tie it into the wire up under the junction block. I soldered it in. Some people use T-taps. I don't. I want a solid, good connection that's not going to end up being a fire hazard down the road. Heat shrinked, of course, everything. This is even soldered up. And if I ever have to take the seat off, just cut the zip ties, and the light will sit on the floor, or it'll pop through the hole in the carpet if I ever need to take the wiring out for some reason. So that works out. I wanted to put a connection on it, but I didn't have enough plugs with pins to solder on each side. So that could be a later date adventure if I really wanted to, if I wanted to leave the lights. But for me, it's just easy enough to just cut the zip ties and be done with it. But yeah, it's real simple to do, and it just makes a world of difference come nighttime. They're not too bright on the floor. These ones are really freaking bright, but they actually get quite hot. They get just as hot as a standard incandescent bulb, but it's just the light output is just so awesome. It doesn't do a whole lot in the back seat with these. I mean, because that lights up the whole back seat, literally the seat. So, but not the floor. This helps light up this area at night a little bit with the door closed, and then obviously the floor lights cover the floor. So they're not a huge advantage on the doors other than shining on the rear of the truck, illuminating the ground and whatnot, and for the rear passengers. So just a little extra how do you do when you open the door, passengers and whatnot. So the only other thing I really want to do to this truck right now is, like, let's say I got groceries in the back seat, open up the rear door. I would love to have a lock button somewhere on here to just lock all the doors. Got my groceries, I'm done, lock the truck, close the door, and go in. Not have to open up the front door or use my key fob if my hands are full. But with the bag in your hand, you can go up and boop, push the button, be done. That's one thing I would really love to do with this truck. I'm trying to figure that out, because I don't think it's as simple as I'm thinking it's going to be. Just putting a switch soldered into the switch wires or the actuator wires. I don't think it's just going to be that easy. But I don't know. My Seville had that. It had a lock button on the rear doors, and that was just, I use that all the time. And it's like one of them things. Once you have it, it's kind of hard to go without it, because you're like, dang, that was nice. So, and it's part of having a vehicle is like, with the perks of having a car is you can make it your own. And for me, I've lived with things that I would like to continue to live with, including the rear lock buttons and a sunroof. That would definitely be nice. I love my sunroofs. So I've got one picked out. We're just gonna wait on the money aspect, and hopefully, I don't know, maybe in December, something with the sunroof put in, just to have a sunroof there for springtime and whatnot. I don't know about fall, but we'll go into that later date, or when I get it or whatever. I'll go over what I got and why. But pretty name brand, so it's not something cheap, but definitely worth having. The only other thing I'd like to do, and is trying to think about how you can do this. So it's very interesting, this truck, because when I was trying to figure out a wiring issue at my upper console and having those LEDs, I think I described that before. It's a weird problem I was having, but the door lights are not part of the dome lights. That ain't gonna work. I don't know why I mentioned that, but anyway, it's still interesting, because my upper lights weren't working, but these were, and so that's a separate part of the BCM that turns on those, I think, up there. So with the door, but what I'd like to do is tie in the work lights up here with the reverse lights, so when you unlock it, those come on, as well as the dome lights. Bada bing, bada boom. You got yourself some, kind of like the Fords do nowadays. And I don't know if GM does that. They might. When you unlock it, those come on as well to help. You need something out of the bed while you unlock your truck. There's some light. So that's the only other thing I'd like to do, other than body work, but just accessory upgrade wise. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. if I'm being overzealous or what, but I mean, it's one of them things. It's like, I really like it, and that definitely, someone's like, gee man, that's so cool, man, you think you could do that for me? Yeah, I can. A few bucks. For a few bucks. So, but yeah, anyway. Oh, the other thing is I've driven a 2019 or 2020, whatever it is, a Chevy Blazer. My grandmother's got one, and that has the rear view mirror that is a camera screen as well as a mirror. But I would really like to have that as well, because I'd really like the widened view of behind the truck than just what that gives me, because I just feel like I'm lacking. After using one, you're like, dang, that is so nice. I would love to do that. And if I could find something like just the components, the camera and the mirror, and wire them up, I don't know if that'll work or if it goes through a module or how that works, but that would be ideal, and I would absolutely love to have one. So that's something I'm going to research and look into, because to make this thing just as good as a brand new truck, frick yeah, I'm all in. I mean, we've already got heated, full power, full lumbar seats, which is something I don't even think the new trucks have. I don't even think they offer the side bolsters that come in to hug you, and I don't know why. I mean, it's comfortable, you know. It helps keep you more comfortable than just your average lumbar. So unfortunately, unlike my Cadillac, the lumbar doesn't move up and down, but that would be one nice thing if they had worked on or whatever. And if you could move the seatbelt things up and down like you could in the Cadillac, but whatever. I don't even think the Escalades offer that, so whatever. It is what it is, and making this thing as good as and the LB7 as good as a brand new truck. All the modern features. It's got wireless charging in the center console, so that definitely brings it up a notch. So yeah, it's work, yeah, it's money, and it's time, but it's fun to me. It's fun, and it's very enjoyable, especially when you go on road trips, to have all the amenities that these newer vehicles have without having to spend the $60,000-$70,000 to have all those, and then to have that very expensive monthly payment on top of that. So I suppose I probably at some point could afford $1,200 monthly car payments on top of $400 or $500 monthly car payments. That's just insane. But right now I'm at about $115 a month for this thing, and it's just for insurance, I should say, and that's full coverage insurance on this guy. That's because its value is still up there. I don't, even when this thing totaled a Dodge Neon, it was only like $6,000 in repairs. I think $5,120, something along them lines, and that was, I can get the parts and fix it cheaper than that, but so it's not as expensive as an LBZ, unfortunately. Those are held to a higher blue book than the 05s, but it is what it is, and I just absolutely would love to make this thing just as good as a 2011, 2012, 2015, 2018 even. I'd love to see an L5P in this thing, but I don't think those are as universal as like an LML to an LB to an LLY, But and then the other thing I was going to look into, to try and fix that frame reverberation, aftershock feeling type of thing, was seeing if a 2007 frame would fit underneath this thing. I mean, like a true 07.5, 08 frame, because those are supposedly had that problem fixed, and that's where these cab bushings come from, the updated ones. This is the 07, 08, 09 trucks. So, I think the 08 ones are fully boxed or something like that, I think. Don't quote me on that, but I was thinking if those work and the Nerf bars on like the 07 crew or extended cabs fit on my 01 extended cab, well, if those cab mounts are the same, can I take like a crew cab and the box of this truck all cleaned up and put it on an 08 frame? Would that work? just, you know, drop it on and bolt it up and be done. But that's something I'm going to look into. But yeah, that's just the thoughts I've had on what I'd like to do to be better than it was from the factory in the upgrade accessories and whatnot compared to how it was, so how it came. Anyway, I appreciate you guys watching, and leave a comment, let me know what you think, and if there's anything else you think I should add, and I'll definitely look into it and consider it. So thanks for watching. God bless.